Hey guys, in this video we're going to start to create some of our components. We're going to create the add form so that we can add a contact, and if we get to it we might go ahead and make it so that we can also upload to Firebase. Okay, so we can persist our data to a data store. Alright, so right now let's go and open up source.js and components and then app.js. Alright, so this is our main application component. Any other components that we build will be nested in this one. So let's go ahead and start with the form, the add form component. So we're going to put that right in the render function, right in this div. We'll say add form, and we're going to have to include it up here. So add form equals require and then /addform.js. Alright, so let's go ahead and create that in the components folder. Save it as addform.js. Alright, and what we'll do is just copy what's in the app component, and we can get rid of most of this stuff. We don't need that. We don't need any of these. We don't need that either. Okay, so just the render function for now. Alright, and we're going to want to, actually we can get rid of this, and then we're going to change this to add form, this too. Alright, and we're going to return a div, and let's just test it out. Save it. Let's see. Oh, gulp stopped for some reason. Cannot find module add form. Let's try that again. Okay. It's still not loading. Add form app.js. Did I save this file? Yeah. So add form. Might just take a minute to update. There we go. Okay. So sometimes when we're running gulp like this and it continuously runs and we save, sometimes it takes a couple seconds to register, so we might have to reload one or two times extra. Alright, so we know that add form is displaying, so what we'll do is we're going to need to create our form. So let's go to the component, and I'm going to give this a class name. Remember, we have to use class name and not class when we're using React. Alright, and this is going to have a class of well, which will just give it a gray background. Alright, and then let's put in H3, we'll say add contact. Okay, and let's do a form group class, okay, just because it's Bootstrap. And let's put in an input type is going to be text, and let's give it a ref attribute of name. That's how we're going to grab it when we submit the form. We want to give it a class name of form control, and let's give it a placeholder. Let's say add contact name. Alright, so that's one input. Let's go ahead and copy that. All we're going to have as far as fields is the name, phone number, and email. Okay, so we're going to change this one to phone, and they're all text fields, so that'll make it nice and easy. Add phone. This one is going to be ref email. let's just have this say add name. Okay, so let's make sure that that shows up okay. Okay, see how it stalled out. Let's try again. No, still. There we go. Okay, so there's our form. Oh, we need a submit button. That would help. So let's say button type submit, and we're going to give it a couple classes. BTN, BTN primary. Alright, and let's also add our event handler here. Okay, so we're going to say on submit, and then it's going to call this dot handle submit. Alright, so we'll have to create that. Now I want to move this down a little bit, so I'm going to open up my style CSS, and for the body, let's do margin top, let's say 30 pixels. Alright, so there's our form. Now what we want to do is create that handle submit. Okay, so in the add form.js file, we want to go right under render and say handle submit. Okay, and we're going to pass in our event and call prevent default. Alright, now what we need to do is we want to get the form values that are submitted and put them into an object. So let's create an object called contact. Okay, and we're going to get the name. The way we get that is with this dot refs dot name dot value. Alright, and then we can also add trim to clean it up a little bit. Okay, so let me just copy that. We want to do the same thing for the phone and the email. Okay, this one will be email. Alright, and then what we're going to want to do after that is we're going to want to call an action. Alright, so for that we'll say app actions dot save contact, and we'll pass in contact. Alright, so as you probably guessed, this is going to go in the actions file, so let's open up appactions.js, and right in this app actions object we're going to say save contact. Alright, and we want to pass in the contact. And just to test this out, make sure it's working, let's say console.log, and we want to output the contact object. Alright, so let's go ahead and try this out. Okay, so add a name, we'll say John Doe, phone number, okay, submit. Alright, so app actions save contact is not a function. Alright. App actions save contact. Did we include it up here? Yeah, we did. You know what, maybe it didn't register. I'm just going to make sure everything is saved, and we'll try it again. Just put anything in here. Okay, so now it's working. Alright, so down here you can see we have our object with the name, phone, and email. Alright, so that's good. That's working so far. So back to our action. We can get rid of this now. And what we want to do is call our app dispatcher, and we're going to call dot handle view action. And then this is where we want to include the action type. So app constants dot save contact. We'll create that in a second. And we also want to pass along the actual contact, the data. Alright, so let's open up app constants. And all we're going to do is add save contact and set that to the string of save contact. Okay. So now we should be able to grab this in our store. So let's go to App Store, and there's a few things we need to do here. One, I'm going to change items to contacts. Okay, so it starts out just as an empty array, and then down here we're going to create our first case. So we want app constants dot save contact. Alright, and let's do console.log, and we'll have a little status message. Oops. Okay, and then we're going to do the store save, because remember, we're using Firebase, so we also have another API that we need to use in addition to saving it to our store. Alright, so let's say app store dot save contact, and then we want to pass in action dot contact. Alright, and then we need to emit the change. We can do that with app store dot emit, and then we'll pass in our change event. Alright, and then we just need to break. Okay, so that's our case. So it's going to look for save contact, so let's go up here and create that. Oops, that's not right. Okay, so save contact, and we'll pass in contact, and all we want to do is take our underscore contacts array and push to it. So we're going to say push and then pass in contact. Alright, and that should do it. It should add it to the contact state. But what we want to do is go into our component, our app component, go to get app state up here, and we're going to set the contact state to a function in the App Store called getContacts. Alright, so let's create that. Go back to the store, and I'll just copy this and change this to getContacts. And all we have to do here, we don't need that. All we want to do is return underscore contacts. Okay, so now let's check and see if we can actually add to the contact state. So we'll go back to app.js, to our component, and let's go down to the render, and we'll go ahead and console.log this.state.contacts. Alright, so let's reload. Actually, let's wait a second. And now you'll see down here we have an empty array. Alright, because that is coming from here. Alright, now when we submit the form, we're going to call save contact, so we're going to push to that array and add it. So let's just say, Bob. Okay, if we click submit, appstore.emit is not a function. Oh, you know what? Let's change that. Let's change this to App Store. Oh, this has to be a lowercase e, like that. Alright, let's try that again. And we'll just put anything. AppStar.eMinute. Okay, so it didn't register yet. Let me just reload. There we go. Saving contact. Now we're getting our object. If we look at it, you can see we have one contact here, an email, name, and phone. Alright, so we know that it's getting saved to state. Alright, now if we reload, it's going to go away. It's going to be empty again, and that's because just setting up a store, it's not giving us persistent data. We need Firebase for it to be able to actually stay there. Alright, so we'll get into that next.